everybody, good morning. General Rush, good to see you. Frank, Amy, Rollins, Svenborn, Dan, Cliff, Rex, Don, Sergio, Diana, welcome, Arturo, Rob, Darren, Bob, Donald. Good to see everybody. Thank you all of the channel members for being channel members and supporting my family. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to the stream. And, well, we have global economic surprises on the rise. What does that mean? What does that mean? Think about it. When we get CPI, PPI here in the United States, well, we get those, I kind of gloss over them, but we get those all over the world all the time. And here we go. Economic surprises. We are seeing globally, we're actually turned the bottom here. Somewhere around July, August, September, we're actually starting to see positive global surprises. We've got the U.S. kind of this big, thick line here. Eurozone in kind of a greenish color. China in kind of a blue. And globally, all summed together, just cracking above the zero line there. So these are positive economic surprises. These are negative economic surprises. And you know what? Positive economic things worldwide kind of leads to is increased global liquidity. The only thing that seems to be about 99.8% correlated to the stock market, that's the stock market, like globally I'm talking about, going up or down, is increases and decreases in global liquidity. Now, this is interesting here is that we didn't get a large pullback the entire time this went down. We did see a couple fits and bumps, and we got a big flush out near the end of this, and then we're turning higher. So it's kind of interesting to think about. The U.S. market has been kind of ramping up after about here, roughly about here. Kind of turned the corner, and we've been ramping pretty good. But we've had a few pullbacks along the way. So if this continues higher, which it doesn't go a lot higher usually before it turns down again, but if this continues higher, we're probably going to see everything kind of the ocean floating all the boats, so to speak. So there you go. That's I thought that was an interesting chart to start out with today. Is that global economic surprises kind of surprising to the upside, and we jump over here, we do the disclaimer. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Just because I get stuff right doesn't mean I'll ever get stuff right again, all right? So this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments. So don't buy stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them, don't buy them, don't sell them. Don't trade them, all right? Substantial risk of loss. Back to the first sentence. And if you just need somebody to tell you what to do, you're like, I just want somebody to tell me what to do, you're going to have to hire and consult a financial advisor. All right. It's not what I do. I don't tell you what to do. I'm just a guy sharing a few things, get lucky. It seems like more often than not, And a lot of things I say come true. You got to be able to take action. I'm not necessarily the world's greatest trader. I'm not. All right. I get stuff right a lot, but I'm not even close to the world's greatest trader. I'm not going to profess to be, just a guy, sitting here getting stuff right, but I get plenty of stuff wrong. I hold on too long. I tend to be more optimist than I probably should be. Probably should be more sarcastically pessimist in this market, but I do all right. And I make cool tools for traders. I follow a couple high probability patterns, and you should make sure you keep coming back for more. Be sure you subscribe so you can chat. Right down here, click, or I guess it's wherever. Go back to the other. Click the button over here. There you go. The button over here. Click it. Be a subscriber on the channel if you want to chat with me. Say, hey, good morning. Morning all. Don't recognize your name, but welcome. It looks like your name is blank. Melissa, good morning. All the people that aren't channel members, welcome and good morning. Glad to have you as always. And back to it. Back to the beginning. Global economic news. Here we are. Here's the rest of the world. All right. We have not a lot happening, crapping in the U.S. markets this week. We have the week before Thanksgiving. Then we have next week, which is, I've been doing this stuff since I turned 18. Like this stuff being trying to trade the market. I have yet in almost, what has it been? 30 years now? Almost 30 years. I've yet to have an awesome banger week, Thanksgiving week. It always is choppy and nasty, and that weird closed on Thursday, open a half day Friday thing. The market does not like it. The market does not like it. I guess a lot of the big traders just take the week off, and it's just weird. Like there's weird price action, weird things happen. It seems like there's no committal. It's just not an awesome week to trade. So be careful out there. All right. How's the latest project backtest? There's no backtest going on. It's a training in AI, and it's going to take 10 days, and it's pretty dang boring. If you've never seen how an AI trains, hold on a second. Let me pull this up, and I'll have to log into I have an online tracker called Weights and Biases. It's WANDB.ai. Weights and Biases. It's a tool for AI researchers or AI developers, whatever you want to call it. I have to log in real quick. Oh, cool. Apparently, I've already logged in with this computer. So I've got to go to the project and logs. That was not the right one. Oh, I need to go to a particular run. There we go. So this is what training in AI looks like. This is what it started out with, and then here's where we're getting. And we're starting to see some overtraining as the predictions coming out are dropping a little bit. So it's at 20 runs out of 50. It takes about 10 days. You get one of those updates every 5 or 6 hours. That's the gloriousness of training AI. A lot of waiting. Hey, do you get to play with it in between? No, you can't. You can't stop it and play with it a little bit. You just let it roll, and so the statistics are the statistics, and we'll see what happens. I did fire up another instance running on another computer. I don't know if I'll be able to let it go for 5 or 6 hours to train. It was making it very difficult to do. I was running it on my main computer that I usually trade on and all the stuff during the day, chat with everybody, and it was, when you move the mouse and and this is like an i9 with 64 gigs of memory and 3080 GPU and stuff like that, and you move the mouse and it's like trailing you. It's like, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to let that run all day. Anyway, so I was trying a different. I did a few different things with that model. I was gonna see if it would train. It has 265 million parameters in the current model. That's about a gig. That means the model is about a gig, 1 gigabyte of memory to run the model. It can do about eight charts a second. So that's it's just humming along, cranking that out. I got a piece of metal stuck in my hand. It hurts. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow, ow. There, got it. I was working on the sawmill this weekend, and apparently I got a little shave of metal stuck in my hand. Didn't notice it till just then, and it caught it with my thumb. All right, so the rest of the world, We can see the G20 having a meeting right here. Day 1, day 2. That's the top 20 biggest countries, basically. And what they're going to do, who knows what they're talking about, what the subject is. Range of global economic issues, including energy transition, and it's in Rio. There you go. There's the top 20 countries. Well, there's a smattering of the top 20. Canada, Italy, France, Germany, Japan, UK, US. The meetings are closed to the press, but officials usually talk with reporters throughout the day. Go take a break, talk with reporters. So, I don't know. We could see, I doubt any kind of crazy anything comes out of that, but could. Now, other positive economic news surprises we've been seeing around the world, you get all these other, I kind of ignore these. This is Forex Factory, so it's when you're trading currencies, you kind of want to know when, if you're trading the Australian dollar pair or Australian Great British Pound pair, you kind of want to know when some of these other governments are announcing stuff. So right now we're seeing that global economic surprises increasing, and that usually leads to an increase in global liquidity. So we don't really have much for the U.S. until Friday when we get the flash manufacturing and services PMI, along with some consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. That's after the market opens. So we don't really have anything too crazy in here all week. And then next week, of course, Thanksgiving week, we get some consumer confidence on Tuesday, nothing really on Monday, Wednesday. This will be an interesting one, I think. Look at this. This is really weird here because we're getting preliminary GDP right there. We get this big news dump on Wednesday before the market opens. Then look at this. PCE reported to come out at 10 a.m. after the market opens. Why are they doing that? Why are they not putting that out at 8:30? Like, that's kind of weird. And then meeting minutes come out right into the market close, and then we're closed on Thursday, and then we open on Friday. I'm telling you, it's going to be a nasty week. Probably going to be a chop action week next week. I'm going to take Thursday off. I won't be here live. I will be here Friday. I'm doing a guest speaker spot on Wednesday. I'll have some links for that coming up. And I guess it's a multi-speaker, multi-day event. And I guess you could register and do it now. But I'll throw it in Discord after I'm done. All right, I feel like I'm kind of rambling, so let's get on to the market. Looks like the market's opened. 15 minutes of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, NVIDIA earnings could cause some volatility too. We do have that in here this week also. It's the last of the big dogs. But that's after the market closes. So I don't think that's going to cause any volatility until Friday because the market's closed on Thursday. We shut down on Wednesday. We don't open on Thursday. I mean, it kind of is open, but it's kind of not. And then Friday. So it's going to be a weird one. And right now, that's set up for that kind of reaction. Just throwing it out there. Retesting the breakout. We're a little bit below it. Any softness this week? Now, I'm not saying it's going to do it. I mean, it very well could do that. Been looking for another, like we got the extension and looking for that next retrace right there. It's not magic. It's just chart patterns. Just throwing it out there. I probably won't play the downside on that one. Now, there's some indications that something's not right. Look at this. The leverage long, lower high. This other leverage one, lower high. Something's going on. This might get a bigger AI play. Might be done for now. Be careful. Just warning you. Just warning you. All right. I think I got the right list here. Let's go ahead. Let's just do this really quickly. And a glitch. That's weird. I wonder why it loads that chart. It's kind of weird. Anyway. S&P. I don't know, everybody. Like, this might... We might go down and hit this. Break back below that. 57. Probably going to come down here. We get below that. That could be the top. That could be the top. Like, the top. Like, possibly for 10 years top. Maybe even longer. A little concerned on what I'm seeing inside the... Especially that price action Friday. There's relentless selling with no clear... That was just a big drop right there. This drop right here. It's a big drop with no signs of letting up. That's first move down, retrace. Those both had three waves, and then just a big flush. Maybe that was a C wave, but started getting a little cautious on this, honestly. And check this out. We're back to the 50% level on stocks about the 20-day. Look at that downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. We might need to go visit the bottom. On stocks about the 20-day. Pushing below. This one could flush. That stock's about the 50-day moving average, S&P 500 stocks. And then 200-day. We found a lot of support down here at the 60 area. If we get below that, we could take that on down too. It's got me a little concerned when I started kind of browsing through all this over the weekend. That price pattern doesn't make me feel good that we bottomed out right there. So it's something to keep an eye on. We did come up shy on NQ of hitting the target on the upside. NDX hit the target on the upside though. Could be done. Could be done. It's possible that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was it. 5. Just throwing that out there. That's it. Possible. Talking about the whole big move up since October of 22. I've been saying we're probably going below 4,000 before we go above 7,000. Probably going below 5,000 before we go over 7,000. Could happen faster than I think. I think we still got, I believe we still got one more high in this. I just don't know if we go from here or here or here. There's support levels all in here. But I am a little bit concerned. The internals here suggesting that things aren't so rosy. Now, the market loves to, get everybody on one side. So if we turn extra bearish here in the next few days, it'll probably rip higher. That's kind of the way everything works. And if everybody starts, everybody, the mainstream media starts blabbing about how awful and how this looks like we're going to rip everything down, tear it apart, we'll probably go popping up higher. So it's kind of the way this all works. We got definitely below a lot of the targets where I thought we might hold on ES. That really extended further down there. Now, we do kind of see a 5-wave. This is not very evident in the S&P, but we do kind of see it right here that we possibly have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll need a little bit more of a retest here before we get the final flush out. That being the A, the B, and this would be the C wave. This would be the B. That would be the A. And if you're not Elliott wave literate, it's okay. It's probably not done. That's what that's indicating. This one over here, yeah, it really looks like we want to get one more test up here, and then one more lower low right there. Russell, really unclear. Look at that. Rejecting the roadmap line over and over and over. This is something's going on here. Turning more bearish right there. That's a leading diagonal down off the high. Could see a big, what we could see is when the NASDAQ goes up, the NQ particularly goes up for its target, this could do a deep retrace, come up with a higher low, and then this set up for a bigger, faster, swifter down right there. If NQ is going to go up and hit its target. CL, look at that. Pushing back into the wedge. Or, I mean, back above the downtrend line, excuse me. Any thoughts on the head and shoulders? No, I don't have any thoughts. Somebody asked me that, a comment. Like these, nothing changes on a daily chart very much day to day to day. It's sitting there, potential head and shoulders. Do I think it's playing out with 1 day of data? I don't know. Right now, we're just grinding on that neckline. If you don't see the head and shoulders, it's like right here. And I was talking about on Friday, this is in a weird place. Like it doesn't make sense where this is sitting. We don't usually make a proper head and shoulders when we come into it from a downtrend. All right, that's not the right place for this to show up Elliott wave wise. The right place would be an uptrend. We would come into it with an uptrend. We do these this, and that would be a reversal for going lower. Continuation down. Coming into it from the upside, coming into it with a downtrend. That there's no this is not a continuation pattern, it's a reversal pattern. So it's in the wrong place. And maybe, there's a possibility that maybe this other one's playing out right here. This bigger one right there. Had a couple extra shoulder in there. I guess it's the humpback of oil. Retested the neckline there. And we could go down. So there's bigger downside potentials in oil. Just be careful. Nothing's clear. Gold? No, that's the kind of thing I wanted to see. Talked about that level on Friday right there. If we can get above it, probably doing that. Back up to the 2,900 area. Lately, I've got everybody hooked on silver, so I'll throw that one up here. Oh, SI1 exclamation point. Nice reversal there too. This one did touch the roadmap line, so potential to rally. Potential. Now, what are we looking for? There's the prior high. There's the low. Here's the resistance zone right up here. We may reject. That's right where the gap was. Right where these highs are. It's kind of funny that 618 level wasn't there until we made this low. But there it is, right where we had a little bit of resistance on the way down. So that'll be a potential slowdown spot on the way back up. Heading on up. 36, 37, probably the next upside area of resistance. Right there. On the way to 40 and possibly much bigger targets longer term, $60, $70 an ounce. Bitcoin. Are you still holding S&P for downside protection? It was a hedge. Hedges are like insurance. You buy it and then you forget it. You hope you never claim it. So yes, I'm still holding it. I'm probably not closing it. It wasn't a trade. It was a hedge play. You put your hedges on, you expect them to go to zero. That's kind of the way it works. So if you're trading hedge plays different than that, you're doing it wrong. At least not the way I do it. So Bitcoin, I need to save this so it quits reloading the crap here. We're consolidating at resistance. Now, let me see. That high, that low. We're just under the 1618 of this correction we did from March to August, right there. We were ripping right on through the 1272 area, kind of gap through it, and we're sitting right here below it. Now, we may tag it right there up to that 96 level and then get a bigger retrace back to the breakout. That we see that quite often. So we could see that retrace back in there around 75. Now, looking at the bigger picture, we came up into the zone of the 1272. Came up just a little shy. There was the 90% of the way to the 1272. 1272 is the target. I use this 1448 as a 90% of the way there. It's a good conservative place to start looking for book and profit if you think that's going to be it. Or at least be cautious of it. Now, the 1618 is on further higher. Up here, almost 175,000. The last big run that Bitcoin did, and we can't look it on the futures because we'll have to go to the all-time history. Let's just go to a clean chart instead of the messy chart. If you haven't seen me do this before, welcome to the show. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's just go back in history just a little bit. Now, this pullback, that was the first spike after it came on the market. There's the first pullback. Here's the first halving event right in here in 2012. We rallied up to the 227.2, 2.272. Yeah, I commonly use the 1.272. This is the 2.272. Went rallying right up there, found a little resistance at the 1618, and then went right on up. Now we went into the next crypto winter. Post halving, I went into crypto winter. Made a pullback. Next halving event, 2016. Started another run. Hit the 2.272 again. Found a little resistance to the 1272. Found a little resistance to the 1618. And hit the 272. Next halving event. Next crypto winter. Next big pullback. That high. This low. 2020. Kind of got an initial spike up, hit the 618 level, kind of chopped and pulled back again, deep retrace. Halving event happened in May. And then we went on the run. We hit the 1618. We kind of chopped at the 1272, hit the 1618, pulled back, retested the breakout, hit the 1618 again. Couldn't do the 272 this time. Couldn't do it. It was up here. Couldn't do it. That was too lofty a goal. Maybe it's law of big numbers. I don't know. Crypto winter again. This high. This low. A little bit of trouble getting through the 618. Shot up. A little bit of trouble getting through the breakouts. Retraced. Now we're on the breakout. 1272 right there, just above us. These numbers may or may not jive with the other. I click sloppy sometimes. And then the 1618 up here about 170,000. And the future prices are a little different than The 272, if we were to really get sparky, up there. You know, we've only had 3 halvings in the past. This is the 4th one we're in right now. 2 out of 4 have hit the 272. 1 out of 4 hit the 1618. What would you bet on this time? I mean, just probably at least getting to there. Probably. It could come up shy. We are getting to the law of big numbers. That may be as high as it can go. And maybe somewhere in between here. Now, what am I talking about? Law of big numbers? Check this out. These are the biggest assets in the world right here. When you start making this list, making the top of this list, it's hard to suck in enough money to keep climbing the list. Notice NVIDIA dropping back off the top here. Usually things that go from not on this list up to the top of the list don't maintain it. And look, Bitcoin went from number 11 up to number 7. It was number 11 just a short bit ago. Silver climbing the list too. Not far behind Bitcoin. So things that climb this list fast tend to go right back down the list. Some of these have been here a long time. This one. They've been fighting for the top spot for decades. So once you make this list, it's hard to keep grinding because it takes a lot of money to keep going up. You know, it takes trillions of dollars to, I mean, think about it. For the price of Apple to double again, it takes it's going to take $3.4 trillion, you know, $7 trillion worth of market cap. For the price of NVIDIA to double again, it takes $3.385 trillion. It'd be a $6.6 trillion company, 6.7. For the price of Microsoft to double again, it takes $3 trillion. You know. You roll on down here, some of these companies, it takes $500 billion to double Oracle. Right? The opportunity is just, once you get to the top of the list, the opportunity is just not there anymore. Like, it takes way crazy numbers of money. Now, interesting, you know, Tesla's still near the top 10. That could triple and put it right up here in this area. So it could go from 340 to almost 1,000, and it doesn't even have to break up into the top 1. It just gets up here in this zone. So very quickly you can find opportunity. And the smaller they are, when you get way down here, 100 billion, you could, you know, 10x that. Just go up to $1 trillion. So this stuff up here at the top, if it's in the number 1, number 2, number 3 spots, it's probably not going to be a triple, or even it's probably not going to 10x again for a long, long time. You know, for Apple to 10x, it'd have to be $34 trillion. Law of big numbers. That's what, if you ever hear me say law of big numbers, that's what I'm talking about. So Bitcoin, is it a 10x? I mean, I put it up as valuable as gold from the current level. Could it do it? Maybe. For it to go from 90,000 to 900,000, it would put it up as big as gold. Maybe, not likely. All right. For just add 50%, put it on up here, this zone, and then it'll go back through crypto winter. So that's kind of where I'm expecting it to top out. Some of that 150, maybe as high as 300. I don't expect it to be a 10xer at this point. So we go back to the charts and look at it. Is it likely to get here? That would make it, to get to that level, we would be half the size. It'd be like $8 trillion in Bitcoin. Yeah, as David A says, where's that money come from in the chat? So I don't know that we're going to see it get up to that level. All right. Let's just, like, talking about these is pie in the sky, but, let's be a little bit realistic. At this point, the upside in Bitcoin is somewhat limited by just global cash, the amount of money that people have to be able to put into it. That may be a much more realistic number. That'd be where we top out. And then we go through crypto winter. Probably all the way back down to maybe as little as 40,000. We commonly see 60 to 70% pullbacks on Bitcoin. Why am I heavy on Bitcoin today? Because there's a lot of interest in Bitcoin. But look, 60, 70%. Let's just go 70%. 40,000. Should you look to book profits up here? If you got it, probably. If you have cost in Bitcoin below 40,000, maybe you don't want to sell it. I have almost a third of a Bitcoin that I've mined at zero cost. I'm probably not going to sell it. Not going to sell it here. Not going to sell it here. I'll probably just keep holding it. So just wanted a dose of reality here for everybody. If you're hyped up on crypto right now, I know I've talked a lot about it. I've got large chunks of money and tied up in it. Like, that's for real. Like, and then Ethereum here, looking a little rougher. We may need a roadmap bounce. We may. Here's one thing I'm watching. This zone right here. We kind of started into this very rockily. I didn't like that price action. Not liking this price action. Just really unsure about where we're going here on Ethereum. This may need one more dip. Flush this baby out. Like, this didn't start out very constructive. This started out very choppy sideways. That's not the way you start a bullish move. Now, it could just ride with Bitcoin, ride or die, and go higher, make some targets. This may also buck the trend, make a lower low. Right there. Dollar, turning down at the very bottom of the resistance. Watch for this to flush. If this starts flushing, you can go down here, go down here. That was an epic run higher. Wouldn't surprise me to chop a little bit and take it back. Bigger picture, check this out. Just in a choppy sideways correction. Made the initial drop. Pop, 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 pop. A little bit higher high than we made back here. A wave down. That's just... I don't want to delete all the things I've said, but let's... I want to leave those big picture targets on there. We're getting up near that target. And just remove a few more things. Clean this baby up. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. All right. Back to that weekly chart. That was initial move down. Could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Possible. This looks like a B wave. Don't. Right to there. That's a big B wave. So that's A down, B. C wave down is likely to occur. Just zoom it up to a weekly chart. It's taking a lot longer than I thought we'd flush this out quicker. So it looks like it's going to last longer. So we've got the initial move down, the retrace, the next move down, puts us right down in this zone right here. Where we top out, I don't know. I've got it a little higher, but somewhere in this zone, we're probably going to top out and then head down. So strong dollar, everybody's been talking about. Now that we've sucked everybody in, probably going to rip everybody. NKD was showing a little bit of positivity overnight. Then started giving it back. Kind of rallied into the reopen there. It started Friday, rallied. Reopened on Sunday right there. Rally, hit the roadmap line, turned down. Ugh. Not sure we're done yet on the downside. All right, what's moving today? Tesla, nice pop. That could have been all we needed on the retrace. Could be. It was showing strength Friday while everything else was, everything else in big tech was turning down. Like I said, this could be the catch-up trade right here. If you haven't seen what I was talking about, check this out. NVIDIA versus Tesla. This is what I'm talking about right here. On a performance basis, talking AI trades or whatever, this thing 628%, this thing 17%. Even if we pull it over to year to date, right there, talking 800% versus 200%. Giant opportunity to catch up. These two to come back together somewhere in the middle. Maybe like, well, Tesla's not an AI play. I beg to differ at this point. Monolithic power. So I go to the pre-market. I pull everything moving $2 or more up, $2 or more down, and put them on the list. Gainers are on the $2 or more up. Monolithic power was up. Now it's continuing to drop. Where's the bottom? May not be for a little while yet. Could come on down to the top of this box at the minimum. Four. Trying to break out of the top of the channel. It's kind of in a squeezy channel situation. This could go on a breakout of the channel. Push on up. 121, 142, possibly 216 would be upside potential. Twist. Bioscience. This is a biotech. Not my favorite. If you're new here, I don't like biotech. They don't always follow the pattern. In fact, they commonly don't follow the patterns. But they're big movers, so this could need a little further downside here, even though it's on the gainers list. Gold. That could be a bottom. I would be very cautious, though, that we missed the roadmap line on the retrace. Now, it could just be holding the uptrend of lows, go shooting off new highs. But I would watch out, be cautious on the downside right there. And if we get below the roadmap line, this play on gold could be done for now. TSLR, levers long on Tesla, going rock and rolling. I'm still in my TSLO, although I did lighten up all the options. Dell, find a resistance, watch for that to turn down. This could be an A wave, and we could see the bigger downside take place here. If that was the... So SMCI is kind of the canary in the coal mine here. Dell is a bigger customer of NVIDIA's, making servers for clients, for AI researchers, than SMCI. SMCI going down the toilet, I guess being delisted today if they don't get their crap together and have a plan. That could be the A, the B, and this could be a C right down in here. Be careful on Dell. And they may or may not get their plan out. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. Up nearly 17% on pace for largest percent decrease since March. That's weird. Up nearly 17% on pace for largest percent decrease. What? That's like they literally said the opposite things in that. Weird headlines. This is probably coming on down. So probably do some choppy junk right here and then bust down right there. A-Lab. Yeah. Semiconductors. I don't have much to say here. There's not enough chart to even get my roadmap line going. It has one little blip here. Can't really say much. Retrace would be, we need a bigger retrace to be able to project some next moves. TSLT, another leveraged Tesla. Probably shooting on off, 36 upside potential. AMD continuing the march toward the 85 to 105 target I've had for all year. INOD potentially topping out, could get a retrace. Be careful, ugly. Came up shy of the targets. But if gold's going to go ripping out, a few bucks in this could turn out pretty well. Could turn out pretty well indeed. 110, 112, possibly 120 on the upside for ugly. PAL. That came up. That got wrecked right there. Got to go to the underlying. The underlying says that's not something to get involved in right now. That was the lowest low. We expanded the range, and this may go back into a consolidation where it doesn't move very much. So PAL, be careful. You could possibly do something like, I doubt there's that kind of premium out there, but you could do like an iron condor where you're above this thing and below this thing. But I doubt there's that kind of premium available. It's probably just going to hover for a while. Root. Tag the upside target over here. We may go again. May push a little extension. 427, possibly 800 if we're going to break out and go higher. SOXX. All these semiconductors ETFs looks pretty bad. SOXX looks bad. SOXL looks bad. USD looks bad. These all look like there's problems cooking for semiconductors. And NVIDIA is one of the bigger holdings in a lot of these. So be careful. GDXU, potentially turning the bottom here. These are gold miners. You ought to go to GDX to chart it. Potential holding the roadmap line bounce. Could be a nice opportunity. I like the NEM chart. Potentially holding that measured bounce zone. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure it's going to, but this one maybe setting up for a nice play here. Might have to add some exposure to this now that we've actually done a nice measured bounce. That was just a 3-wave up off the low though, so didn't like the way this got started. That was a higher low here, but it went much deeper. Not keen on the way this started off the October low. Could turn into something more, but right now it's just not. I'm not sure. NEM, that went deeper than I thought it would, but we could turn it and burn it here. Looking for something up in the $60, $70 area, possibly up here as high as 100. We'll see. We'll see. TSLL, this is the one I hold shares of. Quite a few thousand shares of this. Look for this to break on higher. 34.52 up here. FUTU. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. CLS. Hitting extensions on CLS. JNUG. That has the potential to keep dropping, so be careful here. Junior miners. Be very cautious on. Did not quite come down to, and this is leveraged junior miners. So This is a leverage on GDXJ. This one did not come down. It's just holding at the roadmap line. But we could see this one outperform. Upside be up here around 73. PDD. Potential for that one to go measure bounce here and turn and burn. BABA. Check that one out. Hit the roadmap line right there. If this one can turn, break it back above this, could see an extension out to 123. And Baidu continues to be horrible and looks like it's going to go lower low. So be careful on your China stuff. Not all equal. Nugget here, 2x leverage on miners. This is daily, daily 2x leverage. This means over the long term, it may underperform. If you're unfamiliar with leveraged products, be careful. Leverage. Playing options on leverage is super dangerous. All right, that's kind of playing it like juggling with nitroglycerin. You can blow you and your account up. So, looking for a break back above this level to potentially go up to this level on Nugget. LEU probably coming back to the roadmap line. RGNX looks pretty bad. That's a biotech pharmaceutical. I mean, why do you want to get involved in this? This is just down, 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 down. AEM back to the roadmap line, potentially bouncing. It's another gold miner right there. Right back above the 83 area. And this, compared to NEM and gold, Barrick mining, that looks pretty dang strong right there. We may see that outperform to the upside. All right, stuff that was declining, decliners. Neurogen, almost down to a measured bounce spot. ASML, just continuing to be kind of horrible and may come on down to the bottom of the box. Got the alert down here. Looking for that rest of that dropout. When we did that last week, I was like, I don't think that's what we're doing. And there we are, dropping lower. NVDU, sometimes I get lucky on that stuff. Watch out for this to come back to the roadmap line. If we don't hold it, it may be indicative we're going on down. Kava, probably coming back to the roadmap line. That looked like a final blow off. Coin, consolidating. I'd like to see this extend, but doesn't have to. That could be it. Come back to the roadmap line. Be cautious. Elf Beauty. Popping up. Retracing. If we can hold a 618 retrace here. In this zone. Could set up the next upside move. That breaks us on through. Dust. There's another 2x leverage on miners. This looks very bearish. This is bearish. It looks like it's going to continue bearish. Bounced off the roadmap line, going lower probably. 2x leverage bearish. Leverage bearish. Amgen doing the bigger retrace. That doesn't look like we're getting continuation higher. It looks like we may get continuation lower here. So it's biotech. Probably going on a deeper retrace. NVDL, already talked about. Probably come back to the roadmap line. Yang. 3x bear on China. Looks like this is going to be bearish. The yen also looks pretty bearish, honestly. I came back to the roadmap line. If it doesn't turn here, if it doesn't find support and turn, probably coming back down to the bottom. It'd be kind of weird when your 3x bull and 3x bear both go lower. That's why China is one of the things on my list that I don't really trade. NVIDIA, watch for that to come back to the roadmap line. That could have been the top. That's, 150 was the targets. We tagged it. Can be game over. We can go all the way down here. If you've never seen me draw this before, NVIDIA commonly gets those kind of pullbacks like Bitcoin where we go 60, 70%. 70% down. Take us back into the 40s. If you've never seen this before, look over here. Look right there. Not even that long ago. 67% down. Maybe like, well, that's a different time. How about this one? 60% down. How about this one? 60%, 80% down. How about this one? 80, almost 90% down. And remember, it was never 10 cents a share, 7 cents a share. These are splits that have happened along the way to make it that cheap. People commonly get hung up in this, like, oh, I should have bought NVIDIA when it was 10 cents. It was never 10 cents. It was always expensive. 4-to-1 split, and then this last 10-to-1 split really makes it look like it was cheap in the past, but it wasn't. It wasn't. All right. Cold natural gas short, ultra leveraged. Whenever you see ultra, it means leveraged. Just hanging here, not breaking out, not breaking down, not clear. Connell leveraged coin. This one may be, so even though coin is unclear, this indicates we came up to the resistance, we recharged, refreshed, retested the consolidation zone here, moving back higher. This may indicate we're going on up into this zone for Connell. So sometimes the leverage products provide some clarity on what the underlying is about to do, but sometimes they don't follow the patterns. So maybe this works, but maybe it doesn't. All right. I don't place high value on this. It's just reading the tea leaves and kind of getting an idea of what might happen next. So this might be indicating, because coin itself is kind of unclear what we're doing, maybe indicating that we're gonna do the extension on coin right here. This could be done. We retested, we back tested the breakout of this high from all the way back here in March. Now we could be heading on up here and take Connell with us. All right. ARM. Anybody still want to debate me on this one? Get below the roadmap line. Time is the hardest part, but we're probably coming back down to this zone. HODL. That's Solana strategy. And the Solana chart does not look like this, so be careful. This can go down while Solana goes up. BitX churning here. And because it pays these dividends, you have to click the adjustment chart, and it is breaking higher like Bitcoin and maybe heading on up to higher targets. BIIB, it continues to crush. Watch out below. TSM, probably coming back to the roadmap line down there. And the bonus trade for the day, CECO. I don't know if I doubt my chart's going to show the correct. So my algorithm picked up on that right there. That close above, likely to have a 30-80 target up here. Here's the trade. 30.50 official number. Stop below 20.63. Upside potential of $3.30. 86%. 29 trades since 1980. So statistically significant, kind of. 29 trades. That's right in the 30 ballpark. It is not 30, so it's just almost statistically significant. 86% of the time. 1.8 profit factor. It's a little light. I like to see them over 2, but there you go. And this may go on up to the higher target, 33. On up there. How much time? These typically last 45 trading days, and that'll be to get to the lower target. 45 trading days to get to that 30-50 area. Why are my numbers on here different? Because of that. I had it on log mode. It's a not log mode. I do not log mode with the algorithm. So there you go. 30.53, 30.53. Put down a penny. And there's the target right there. Breaking on higher. 45 trading days. So that would be roughly 69 calendar days because the candle maker isn't open on the weekend, isn't open on Thanksgiving, isn't open on the holidays. So it could take a little longer to get there. A little longer calendar wise. So you need more than 2 months if you're going to play options. And I recommend 5 months probably. I don't know that there are any options available. Just throwing that out there. And I've got the chat covered up. All right. Yeah. Well, Goose, we're at high global liquidity, but we're also increasing global liquidity potentially. And likely, kind of the way economic news works, we will top out global liquidity about 6 months before the economic news starts turning back down. So, just kind of the way this all works. All right, bias for the day. For those of you still hanging out with me, 145 of you, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting trust in me to show you what's going on in the markets. So let's look right here. Here's the upside resistance. We get above this. If you've never looked at ES before, that's okay. This is the chart I watch. You can type it in. If you're having trouble, a lot of platforms that /ES with none of this other stuff on here, just /ES. And I know Thinkorswim, it's /ES. E-Trade /ES. Tasty Trade /ES. If you're on TradingView, it's ES1 exclamation point. And you do get delayed data unless you pay for it. I don't pay for it. I do have a brokerage account with Global, AMP Global, that I get live data from. I get live data from Tasty Trade and live data from Thinkorswim. So right there's the upside resistance. Here's the support. Now, was that the 4? It looks a little. Here's getting into the finer point of Elliott wave here. For those of you still here, this move and that move are almost exactly the same. Those are echoes in the same move. This move is bigger. So this right here, there's what we call the theory of alternation. It's not a rule, it's a theory in Elliott wave. That'll be the upside resistance. Probably come up into that zone over today, maybe into tomorrow. That was the move down. That was the retrace. That held the 618. So that's the 1, that's the 2. Just throw this on here. This is the way I kind of work through it. This is the high probability. That was the 3. 3 extended. It was probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. This will be the 4. And then we'll get a 5 over here. That 5 likely to be at least as big as the 1, which would just put it right there. So 5 likely to be a little extended. Could just make a nominal lower low. Could extend it down to here. That's what I'm watching right there. That would be the levels right there. If we start breaking through, we're done and we're going higher. If we respect it, turn down, we're likely to get at least back to the low, if not a slightly lower low. All right. If you're new in Termite Trading Lab, make sure you're in Discord. This is not the place to talk. This is open for everybody. So, all right, everybody. Be safe out there. The account you save may be your own. Be careful. Be in Discord the rest of the day. Have a great day. I'll see you later.